In this video, I'm going to show you how to create and modify tables. Now, a table is a grid of cells arranged in rows and columns. And tables can be used to organize any type of content, whether you're working with text or numerical data. I've opened up the Disney data presentation, and I want you to look at slide 2. On this slide, I already have a table created, and we're going to work with that table a little later when we get to formatting and modifying a table. For right now, I'm going to insert a new slide in the slide 2 place. So I've clicked on slide 1, and I'm going to click the new slide button. Now there's a couple of ways I can insert a table. I can work from one of these content buttons. The first one is your insert table button. And if I click on that, a little tool shows up and it asks me how many columns and how many rows I want. And when I click OK, my table will be formed. Another option is from my Insert tab. I have this Tables group, and if I click the drop arrow, there's a few ways I can make a table. I can highlight over this grid and make the table that way. And as I do, it shows up immediately in my slide. If I click this Insert Table button, I'm going to get the same tool that I got when I clicked over here. And the Draw Table option gives me a drawing tool where I can physically draw the outline of my table and my columns and rows. Now, I like to use this grid. So I want to duplicate the table that I now have on slide 3. So that has 3 columns and 16 rows. Now, the most I can make in this grid is 8 rows. So I'm going to go with that. And when I click, the table appears in my slide. Now I'm going to get rid of this title placeholder by clicking on it and hitting delete. And I'm going to move my table up. I got the move tool by clicking on the outside edge of it. And I'm going to stretch it down and over. Now I said I wanted 16 rows. So I would have to work from my Table Tools contextual tab called Layout. Now notice when my table is activated, I have these 2 new tools, Table Design and Table Layout. Now the Table Design tab holds tools that let me change how my table looks. And we'll look at those a little closer in a little bit. The Layout tab holds tools that let me modify the structure of my table. So if I wanted to add more rows or delete columns, that kind of thing, I would work from the Layout tab. Now I need to add a bunch more rows. So I'm going to click in my bottom row and I'm going to choose Insert Below. And I'm going to keep doing that until I've got 16. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I need 2 more. Now I've got 16. And I can resize so it fits back on my slide. Okay, so now I've got the same structure as the table I have on slide 3. Now notice on this table, my first row has all the data in the top row merged into one cell. So let's do that in this table. So to make that happen, I'm going to enter my data in. So I'll put high and low temps. For February 1 through 14. Okay, so I entered my data. And now I want to highlight the cells that I want to join together. So I'm going to click in front of the H. Whoops. You got to be careful what you grab with the table. I'll do it from right to left. So I highlighted all 3 cells. From my layout tab, I've got this merge group. And if I click merge cells, it joins them all together. Now I have one big long cell going across. Now, if I want to center that, I can click the center button and it's starting to look like the one below. Okay, now I'm not going to take the time and type all that data in. Entering data into a table is simple. You just click in the cell and you start typing. And so on. So to modify the table design, I'm going to work from the table on slide 3. You would click on the table and click on the table design tab. Now these table style options refer to special formatting that can be applied to the table. So notice I have my header row selected. So when I unselect it, it takes the special formatting away. Okay, first column, I could apply that to the month, the days. Banded rows formats every other row differently. And then I have my table styles. Notice there's all these categories, light, medium, and dark. And then I hover over them. They all have a name. I'm looking at medium style 2, accent 6. So I just point and click to select. And then I can modify more by playing with my shading options, my border options, and my special effects. And if what I've selected has words in it, I can work with my word art styles. Okay, so if I wanted to pick a different word art style, just a point and click. I'll do this one because it's really noticeable. And then we started looking at the layout tab a little earlier. So if I wanted to add or delete columns or rows, you just click where you want to work from. So if I wanted a new row to appear under February 6th, I would click in February 6th and then just choose insert below. If I want to delete a row, I click inside that row and just choose delete row. Columns work the same way. If I want to delete this column over here on the right, I select it, delete column. I'm going to hit undo and bring it back. Okay, or if I wanted to add a column, let's say I wanted to add one right to the left of this column, select it, insert left. And I'll delete that. And then the rest of these options just allow you to work with the height and width of your columns and rows. And you can do it with these tools. Okay, up arrow and down arrow. Or if you wanted, you can try to grab the row or the column that you want to work with and click and drag. Sometimes that can be a little tricky. Okay, you've got your alignment tools here. Again, you've got your table size, height, and width. You can use these arrows to increase and decrease the whole table, or you could use the sizing handles. Okay, so working with tables is fun, and it's an easy way to really visually display your data.